Hey, how's it going? Kenny here, and welcome to another experiment video where this time round I've taken Erling Haaland and I've put him into the FIFA Qatar World Cup, where he belongs, let's be honest, on the biggest stage of football here, and we can't see one of the best players in the world in Erling Haaland, so I've taken him and put him in this World Cup and see what he does. Bad news is, I was unable to edit Norway into the World Cup here. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I just could not figure it out. So what I have done is I have changed Erling Haaland's nationality. Well, I've done 8 simulations and one of each team in each group here to see how far he will take them with his goals in the World Cup. The first simulation he'll be playing with Ecuador to see what he will do there, and then after that it'll be Wales, Mexico, etc., etc. We'll get to them when we get to the simulations, but is Erling Haaland that good to win a nation the World Cup? Obviously, he is Norwegian. He'll be playing for Norway his whole career. And I think we're guaranteed to see Norway at the World Cup at some point, to be honest with you. I think Norway are starting to get a golden generation at the club, to be honest. And with Erling Haaland up front and Martin Odegaard just behind as well. Some great young wonder kids coming through, such as Shelderup, who I've absolutely butchered his name there, by the way. They look like a great team in the future. Unfortunately, I couldn't add Norway into the World Cup, so we'll have to see how he does at some other nations here. I've tried to keep it a little bit realistic as possible. Of course, Haaland and Norway, no offence to Norway, they're not really the same sort of size as Argentina, England, Germany, Brazil, etc. So if Haaland was in the World Cup, he'll be a second or third seed team, which Norway probably would be. But anyways, let's start with the first simulation then, and that will be Ecuador. Before we get started with the first simulation, guys, please remember that if you like this video, hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button as well. I do daily FootballManager content. It'd be much appreciated as well. So let's get started with the first simulation then. So as it turns out, having Erling Haaland in your team might be enough for you to win the World Cup, it has to be said. Ecuador have won the World Cup, beating Spain 3-2 in the final. Well, first things first, who won the Golden Boot? It has to be Haaland, surely. Well, he has. He's joint won it with Mbappe, Lewandowski. Well, you can't get asked for 3 better strikers than that, to be honest with you, can you? And then Benzema 4th place. So, yeah, it's pretty realistic, I'd say. Mbappe got the Golden Boot because he scored 6 goals in 3 appearances, which is just absolutely ridiculous. A goal every 35 minutes. Lewandowski got 6 goals in 5 games in 67 minutes. Haaland didn't do as good as them in terms of minutes per goal, but neither of those won the World Cup. So Haaland did do the best there. Won it with Ecuador, as you see there. 6 goals in 7 appearances. Not quite as good as I'd expect him to do with them winning the World Cup, to be honest. But still, it's a big chunk of the goals there. And we actually get back to the stage. Ecuador beat Spain 3-2 in the final. I'll have a look at the individual games in a minute. But I don't want to take anything away from Erling Haaland and Ecuador here. But they did beat Wales in the second round. Then Poland in the quarter-final. And then Croatia in the semi-final. So it wasn't the most trickiest of routes towards the final there. But in saying that, when they got in the final against Spain, they beat them 3-2. So you've got to give them credit for that. But yeah, it wasn't the hardest of run-ins towards the final there. But still, it's Ecuador. And with Haaland up front, they have won the World Cup, which I don't think anyone would predict, really, about Haaland up front. So that is quite sensational. Let's see how he did then. Let's see how he did in the group, first of all. Of course, in Group A, they won 2, drew 1, lost 9. Against Qatar in the first game, he scored a goal there. Win the game 4-0. So he scored in the first game. He scored in the second game as well against Netherlands to make it 1-1 there. And he scored in Senegal. So he scored 1 in each of the group games there, which is very nice, it has to be said. Nothing sensational to talk of, but he's chipped in with 3 of 8 goals in the group stage. In the second round, they played Wales. In the second round, they beat Wales 3-1, but Erling Haaland didn't score any goals in this game, so very interesting. They came out from 1-0 down as well, which is great to see. They then beat Poland 3-2 in the quarter-final, the battle of Haaland and Lewandowski. But Haaland didn't score in this game either, which is a big surprise, really. Big surprise. Lewandowski scored, but Haaland with no goal in this game. Very bizarre. Against Croatia in the semi-final, he scored a brace in this game, which helped them get through to the final, which is very nice. And then against Spain, he scored as well to win the final 3-2. Quite interesting final as well. And 1-0 down from Moreno. They made it 3-1. Spain got a goal back for half-time, make it 3-2. Haaland missed a penalty in this game as well. Did he miss any other penalties in any other games? He did. He missed a penalty against Senegal as well. So Haaland missing 2 penalties. Hasn't he got like 20 penalty taken? Well, 17 now, probably gone down a little bit. But yeah, anyway, Haaland was 6 goals out of 7 in the first simulation here. But the more remarkable story is the fact that Ecuador won the World Cup. And Haaland was 6 goals in 7 games. They did score a lot more goals than that, so it wasn't all scored by Haaland. But I think he made a big difference to the team. Without Haaland, I don't think Ecuador would win the World Cup. Anyways, let's start with simulation 2, where he goes and starts with Wales. Unfortunately, the second simulation was nowhere near as remarkable as the first one, because even with Haaland up front, Wales still couldn't get out of the group. Absolutely ridiculous. Don't know what on earth's happened here. As you see, no Wales to talk of here. USA have gone through the second round, and England went through the second round as well. England went through to the final, actually. We lost to the Netherlands. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyway, what happened with Erling Haaland at Wales then? They only won one game. Oh dear. Well, they lost the first game, 1-0 to USA. Obviously, no Haaland on the score sheet there. They then played England, lost 2-1 there. Haaland did chip in with that game, so can't argue too much there. He made it 1-0 as well in the 8th minute, and then England with the 92nd minute penalty to win the game there. Without that penalty, well, Wales still would have been knocked out on goal difference, I guess you could say. In the final game against Iran, Haaland with a goal there as well. So he only scored 2 goals in this World Cup in 3 games. Well, he's let the team down a little bit there, hasn't he? He's let the team down. Did he play in this game against USA here? He did play. He played up. Look at that. Look at that defensive formation there from Wales. You've got best striker in the world up front, or one of the best strikers in the world up front, and you're playing basically with a back 7. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But anyway, Wales did not utilise Haaland at all, really, did they? He scored 2 in 3 games, so you can't really complain too much of that. It's it's better than 1 in 2, isn't it? But Wales, unfortunately, could not even get out of the group. In terms of the next simulation, guys, Haaland will be a Mexican. Well, this time, his nation did a little bit better, has to be said. He got through to the quarter-final, where they lost to the Netherlands 2-1, quite tightly there. How about his goal scoring record this time round? Haaland. He's not even on there. Is he on there at all? Where is he? Where's Erling Haaland? Let's go check to see what happened with Erling Haaland here. Let's go check out the group first of all. Group C. Mexico finished in second place. Only scored 5 goals in 3 games, though. They do have a tricky group, though, to be fair. Well, in the first game, they beat Argentina 1-0. Funnily enough, I just finished watching Argentina-Mexico, and Argentina won the game 2-0. But obviously, no Haaland for Mexico in real life. Haaland scored there in the 40th minute, so that's a great way to start off the group stage there. They then played Saudi Arabia, beat them 4-0, but no goal for Haaland in this game. 2 goals from Jimenez. Did he even start the game? He did start the game, but he couldn't score in the game, unfortunately. But yeah, look, everyone else in the green rating for this game, apart from Haaland, and they scored 4 goals against Saudi Arabia with 3.5 at XG. You bet Haaland scored about 6 goals in this game, wouldn't you? But anyway, he didn't score in that game, which is a little bit disappointing on his part because Mexico did their job, but Haaland just did not do his job, unfortunately. In the final game, they lost 3-0 to Poland. Okay, Lewandowski with a hat-trick in that game, forcing them to finish top of the group. Did Haaland start in this game? He didn't start in this game. What are Mexico playing at, though? What are they playing at? I'm sorry, but they're starting Jimenez over Haaland. The only thing I could say, they've got one eye on the knockout rounds there, resting the entire team, so it might be a wise decision, but yeah, we want to see Haaland play for Mexico. Only 1 goal scored for Haaland in the group stage there. Really, really disappointing. Let's check out the next round, of course. Let's check out the second round. Well, in the second round, they beat France 1-0, to be fair, which obviously is a great win. But no goal from Haaland in this one as well. He did start the game this time, but a goal in the 93rd minute from Roberto Alvarado there. And against Netherlands in the quarter-final, Haaland did not score again. And they lost 2-1 in the quarter-final. So, well, a bit different to the first two. Haaland obviously scored 6 and 7 for Ecuador, and it won them the World Cup, effectively. He did do really well anyway, Ecuador. In the second simulation there, Haaland did his job. He scored 2 goals in 3 games for Wales, but they couldn't get past the group stage. This time around, Mexico got to the quarter-final, but let's be honest, Erling Haaland did not do much in that regard. He scored 1 goal in 5 games. Only 4 starts, but only 1 goal scored. It's really disappointing from his standards, has to be said. But anyway, let's get started with the fourth simulation, where Haaland is playing for Tunisia. The question is, will any other nation here with Haaland up front win the World Cup? Or was the first simulation of Ecuador just a complete fluke? Well, with Tunisia, they got through to the second round when unfortunately they lost to Argentina 2-1. How many goals did Haaland score this time round? Did he let the team down again? He may have let the team down again, to be honest with you. Where is Haaland? He's nowhere to be seen again. What's going on here? Well, they lost 1-0 to France in the first game there. Mbappe with a penalty. So nothing to be ashamed of there, you're a Tunisian fan, to be honest. But did I think France battered them in this game. They had 2 shots and not a single shot on target in the game with a 0.04 XG. Well, cannot blame Haaland for that. If you've got a great striker up front, you need to feed him. Unfortunately, this midfield three here were absolutely abysmal, and same with those two. Haaland with a 6.7, so he was the best of a bad bunch there, going forward at least. So, well, that's the thing. If you've got a great striker up front, if you don't feed him, what can he do? He can't do much, can he, really? So, yeah, that's disappointing there. In the next game, we didn't even score a goal in the first 2 games, Tunisia. He's only scored 1 goal in the group stage. They still qualified. What on earth is going on? They drew 0-0 with Denmark, which happened in real life as well. Did he at least score that? He did score that goal. He beat Australia 1-0. Haaland with the goal in the 13th minute. 3 minutes after the play got sent off as well. So they only scored 1 goal in the group stage. It was scored by Erling Haaland, though. Well, I guess this is the problem you can get when you haven't really got great players around him. Against Argentina, he scored in the first minute. He could have asked for a better start than that from Tunisia, could you? Erling Haaland scored in the first minute. Unfortunately, Lautaro Martinez scored 2 goals, and they got knocked out 2-1. So, Tunisia have only 2 goals in 4 games there in the World Cup, which is a bit abysmal, it has to be said. But both of the goals scored by Haaland, so can't complain too much about him, to be honest, in this one. He's got 2 in 4 games. He just did not have the players around him to give him the chances there, which is disappointing. Well, the next simulation, he goes into Group E, and he will play for Costa Rica. Well, we haven't seen Haaland get past the quarter-final yet, apart from winning the World Cup with Ecuador, of course. Of course, he's playing with some the poorer teams of the World Cup here. As I said, I tried to be as realistic as possible. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to say Costa Rica and Norway are on the same sort of level. I think Norway are better than Costa Rica, despite them not being at the World Cup. I could really put them in Spain and Germany's team, because that's a bit above Norway's level at this moment in time as well. And obviously, Japan, their team is not registered in this FootballManager 2023 here. So I had to put my Costa Rica, and unfortunately, the same as Wales, they haven't qualified from the group. Did he go on the top goal scorer leaderboard though? Erling Haaland. No. You've got to say Costa Rica, well, what I've seen so far, like one of the poorer teams of the World Cup. They got absolutely battered by Spain, 7-0 of course in the first. It's only the only game they've played so far, to be fair. Well, I think they'll have played a game by the time this... No, they'll be starting a game by the time this game's released. They'll be playing against Japan, of course they will, 10 o'clock in the morning, when this game will be uploaded, which will be 10 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, let's go check out Costa Rica. They only scored... Well, they scored 5 goals, to be fair. They lost 3-0. Oh, my word! Haaland lost his head in the first game, though. He got sent off against Spain. It wasn't quite 7-0, but it was 3-0. And Erling Haaland getting sent off. Oh, dear. So that means he not missed the second game. But he scored 4 goals against Japan. No Haaland there to talk of. And in the final game, he did score against Germany. He scored and lost the game 2-1. To be fair, it's always going to be tricky playing him for Costa Rica, of course, with Spain and Germany in the group. That's almost an impossible task, isn't it? Japan, bottom of the group with 2 goals scored and 12 conceded. Of course, Japan beat Germany in real life, so Japan might actually qualify. They actually beat Costa Rica. They will qualify, I believe. So, yeah, Japan not quite as bad as they seem in FootballManager 2023. But as I said, they haven't got any real players in the game, so maybe that's something to do with it. But yeah, saying that, Erling Haaland didn't get sent off in the first game. They might have seen... Nah, they're already 2-0 down in the game. So this one with Costa Rica wasn't very impressive, but also understandable. Only 1 goal scored here for Haaland. But anyway, let's check out the 6th simulation. Ecuador has been the best so far. That was the first simulation. Will any sort of replication happen with Morocco? Well, Morocco got out of the group stage. Unfortunately, they got battered by Spain 5-1 in the second round, so that's really disappointing. England won the World Cup, by the way. We always like to see that if we're English, of course. If you're not English, you don't like to see it, do you? But anyway, did Haaland get the top goal scorer? He did. Oh my word. Okay, Haaland did the business for Morocco this time round. Just the other players let the entire nation down. So Haaland with 6 goals in 3 games, a goal every 45 minutes. He must have played all 90 minutes for Morocco there, as you think he would. He only played 3 appearances though. Obviously they got to the second round, so he must have missed one of the games. He didn't miss the second round, surely not. Let's go check it out. Group F, isn't it? So they qualified out of tricky groups like Belgium with 3 losses out of 3, by the way. What on earth's going on there? This is a very this is one of the most interesting groups, I think, in real life, by the way, as well. I think these 4 teams are quite more even than other people than most people think are led to believe, to be honest with you, because Belgium are not that great these days, to be honest. All their stars are aging, and Canada look really good against them. Morocco and Croatia are quite decent teams as well, so very interesting. Anyway, look at that. In the first game of the group, Morocco beat Belgium 4-3, and Erling Haaland scored all of the goals in that game, so I think it does help when you have a brilliant striker up front. He's proved that here in Morocco. 4 goals in the first game against Belgium there. Absolutely sensational. What a game that must have been to watch as well. 4-3, brilliant. What about in the second game? Well, the second game was only 1-0 against Canada, which is a little disappointing. But he did score in that game as well. So 5 goals for Morocco, and all scored by Erling Haaland. They then lost 3-0 to Croatia, which is disappointing. Is this the game he didn't play in? Must have been if he scored 6 goals, didn't he? Yeah, no Erling Haaland to talk of. Is he on the bench? Well, he's not on the bench, and he hasn't started the game. So he's either suspended, or he was injured for a game, or he's rested. I have no idea. We did not play against Croatia there. Not that it matters, because they already qualified, I would have believed. They qualified in second place, though. So it was quite an important game. So I'd hope that he was suspended with too many yellow cards or red carded there. Otherwise, the manager's made a little bit of a boo-boo. But anyway, he did score 5 goals out of 2 games there in the group stage, and all 5 of Morocco's goals were scored by Erling Haaland. What about the second round? Well, he must have scored a 6th goal. He must have scored all of their goals. He scored 6 goals, didn't he? Yeah, against Spain they lost 5-1, but Erling Haaland scored again. So he scored Morocco scored 6 goals in the World Cup and Erling Haaland scored all of them. So he did his job, a goal every 45 minutes there. So he did pretty well. They just got absolutely schooled against Spain, unfortunately, losing 5-1, which is disappointing. But anyway, he definitely showed the business here in Morocco. But let's get forward to the Group F. Group G, where Erling Haaland will be staying in Europe. This time he'll be playing for Switzerland. Well, this time they got to the quarter-final again. Switzerland got to the quarter-final with Haaland up front. Well, they lost to Belgium 2-0, unfortunately. I think that's a chance missed there from Switzerland, I have to be honest. That is a chance missed. Because with, Belgium and Switzerland, okay, if you looked at the two teams on paper, you'd say Belgium, wouldn't you? But then if Switzerland have Haaland up front, you'd take Switzerland. So, yeah, they were disappointed. He didn't even score in that game. I hope, did he start? We'll see in a minute. But, yeah, they beat Belgium as well. They faced Netherlands in the semi-final. Again, Haaland up front there. They would have got to the final again. So, Switzerland, despite getting to the quarter-final, let down a little bit there. Let down. Did he win the top goal scorer this time around again? No, but oh my word. Oh my word. He got 9 goals in 4 games, though. Did he miss the quarter-final? He might have missed the quarter-final. He's only played 4 games. We'll see. He's got 9 goals in 4 games. A goal with 30 minutes. But he still didn't win the Golden Boot because Neymar won it with 10 goals in 6 appearances. What a sensational World Cup this was. Oh my word. But yeah, Erling Haaland, he's done the business again. 9 goals in 4 games. Unfortunately, the rest of the players have let him down there. Let's go check out the results here. Well, Switzerland won. Topped the group, 3 wins out of 3 out of Brazil, Cameroon and Serbia. That is definitely good going there. In the first game, they beat Brazil 2-1. Erling Haaland with both goals there. So that proved crucial there in that game. That's brilliant. And they beat Cameroon 3-1. Erling Haaland with another 2 goals. Didn't get all the goals this time round like Morocco though, because Shaqiri scored 1. But 4 goals out of 2 games there. Then against Serbia, he scored again. He scored another brace. So a brace in each of the 3 games there, is it? Yeah, 6 goals out of 3 in the group stage. Not bad. Not bad at all there from Haaland. What about the second round? Well, in the second round, they beat Ghana 3-1. And Erling Haaland with a hat-trick there. So 9 out of 4. So does that mean he didn't play against Belgium? He got a yellow card in that game. Did he get suspended? Well, 2 yellow cards gets a suspension. I'm guessing he got 2 yellow cards, to be honest. Didn't get a yellow card against Brazil, nor Cameroon. Oh, he got himself booked against Serbia, didn't he? And Ghana, oh my word. That's why he missed the game against Belgium. I think it might have been a different story if Haaland was playing against Belgium there, to be honest with you. As you see, Mbolo up front, let's be honest. No disrespect to Mbolo, but there's a big difference between Erling Haaland and Breel Mbolo. Let's be clear about that one. So yeah, that's disappointing. Disappointing. Haaland was man possessed in this simulation here. So if he would have continued, how many goals would he scored in this World Cup? He scored 9 in the first 4. We've definitely got a double digit, surely. So yeah, sensational. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this one day in the future, to be honest. As I said, if Norway have to qualify for a World Cup and European Championships with Haaland in their team whilst he's playing football, of course. They have to. And also, as I said, some of the other players as well. Norwegian team's looking a bit scary for the future, that is for sure. The likes of Odegaard there as well, Shelderick coming through, as I said, and lots of other good players that I can't get into my mind currently, but obviously Haaland and Odegaard stand out there. But Odegaard, that's what I mean by saying, if you've got a great striker to the national team, you need someone there feeding him, and Norway have got that. Erling Haaland, they've got Odegaard feeding them, so that's a scary prospect for the future. So I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point, as long as they avoid England at all costs. But anyway, let's get started with the final simulation where Erling Haaland will play for Ghana. Will any other team win the World Cup? Well, Ghana's our last hope here. Ecuador won it in the first simulation. No one else could do it past that point. But Erling Haaland's done the business in most of the occasions, it has to be said. So it's mainly just the rest of the team letting them down. But anyway, let's get started with the final simulation. Well, with Ghana, unfortunately, they couldn't get past the second round where they lost to, of course, Switzerland, who we just saw there in the last simulation there. Lost 3-1 to Switzerland. So that's disappointing. Switzerland actually went all the way to the final. They lost to Portugal. Very interesting. But how did Haaland do? The man is a freak. The man is a freak. Well, what FootballManager is telling us right here is that even if he doesn't go very far in the World Cup, he's highly likely to win the Golden Boot. That's 9 goals in 4 games in his last two simulations here. It's just absolutely crazy. 9 goals in 4 appearances for Ghana. The bloke is absolutely possessed, isn't he? His goal scoring record for Norway, by the way, is just absolutely insane, isn't it? I think he's going to smash all sorts of records, to be honest with you. Hopefully he does anyway. But let's go check out Ghana then. They did quite well. They topped the group with Portugal, Uruguay and South Korea, which is a very hard group, with 13 goals. What happened here? Well, in the first game, they battered Portugal 4-1. And Erling Haaland with a hat-trick in this game. Oh my word, that is amazing from them. They then beat South Korea, 7-2. 7-2. And Erling Haaland with 5 goals in this game. So he scored 8 goals in his first 2 games. Well, that must be a record, surely. He started to slow down a little bit after that, unfortunately. They beat Uruguay 2-1. He did score again though to make it 9-3. So that means he didn't score in the second round. How sad. Ah, that's disappointing, isn't it? Against Switzerland. Yeah, he played a rare poor performance there from Erling Haaland. He scored 9 in the first 3 games. He scored 8 in the first 2 games as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. But he couldn't score against Switzerland, unfortunately. So he did let the team down a little bit there. But let's be honest, Erling Haaland, if you've got Erling Haaland like your friend in the World Cup, I think it shows from what FootballManager said here about Ecuador that you've definitely got a chance of winning the World Cup. So Norway fans, you should be very, very excited with Haaland in a World Cup at one stage, which is surely going to happen. Let's remember, he's still quite early in his career. He's still only 22, for goodness sake. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Erling Haaland's proved here, in FootballManager at least, that if he's up front in the World Cup, if he's playing, then he guarantees goals. He guarantees got 9 goals in 4 appearances in the last 2 simulations here. It's absolutely crazy. He did win the World Cup with one team. Now it's Ecuador. Unfortunately, that was the first team. We couldn't see that again. But he did take Switzerland to the quarterfinals. He took someone else to the quarterfinals. Who else did he take to the quarterfinals? He took Mexico to the quarterfinals as well, I believe. And of course, I hear the stat of Mexico. I think they've lost in the round of 16 the last 7 World Cups. So I think they'll be happy to get through to the quarterfinal. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Please remember that if you do like this video, hit that like button for me. It'd really let me know to do more videos like this in the future. And also, it'd help this video get seen by more people as well. And also, if you do like the video and haven't subscribed, do hit that subscribe button as well. I do daily FootballManager content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.